So I found every level I possibly could that would place somewhere around the top 20, I don't know, top 10, basically every upcoming top 10 that I could find, and I ranked them all. There's 35 of them, so there's a lot to go over, so let's just get started. First up, in last place, we have Aquamarine. I absolutely hate this level. Like, okay, the gameplay is pretty much just Soucoupe Circles, like, version 2. Like, it's not unique whatsoever. It's a 9 circles level. I mean, Soucoupe Circles was controversial enough to be top 1. Do we really need a sequel that doesn't even have a redeco? Now, I am aware that some people are redecorating it, and I really hope that when they finish that would become more official, because if Aquamarine gets just verified as a 1.9, like, reskin of 9 circles, that happens, I'll beat Cataclysm on a broken iPad. The way I see it is it's pretty much just a half-joke level that people are actually taking seriously and getting runs on, which really makes me mad, because if this level actually got rated, Rob Tob is just insane. Also, the level's still like 55 seconds long. Could you not at least just do the dumb thing Arcturus did and just add a bunch of black screen at the end? Next up, we have Andromelech. I probably mispronounced that, whatever. It's pretty much just a hell level that's 5 minutes long and is probably dead at this point, so I don't know. I just placed it here because it's pretty much just a top 1 that's hell themed, and it's like 5 minutes long of just impossible wave ship and like robot stuff. It's not that unique. If I could see it becoming more unique in the future, because hell levels aren't all just copy and paste, but right now it's sitting pretty low, 34. Next up at 33 is Antares. Now here's the thing, I kind of like this idea, like this level a little bit, because I like the idea of having it be a little more horror based. The problem with this is that it's pretty much just it's supposed to be a sequel to Arcturus, and I don't really, from what I've seen, I don't really see how it is a sequel to Arcturus. Like, there's not much consistency there, and also Arcturus doesn't deserve a sequel. I hate Arcturus for a multitude of reasons. Next up is Heliopolis. It's an interesting concept having it be 60Hz exclusive, but I think at this point it just serves to be more inconvenient than special, and there's just not much to go off. It's pretty much just a layout at this point, so yeah, whatever. Also, I know I'm not supposed to judge it based off the gameplay, but from what I've seen it kind of looks like hell to play. Next up is Corrupted Planet. Now, I'll at least give it a little bit of slack for, actually improving a little bit on the theming, because it's actually purple instead of just red, which makes it, like, the slightest bit more entertaining to watch. But Crimson Planet is pretty much just, like, a semi-lazy, like, hell-themed top 1. It's, like, kind of over-decorated. Like, it's not that special. I don't see why it needs a sequel. Like, why does everything have to be a sequel? Just make it its own unique project, whatever. Alright, just in the top 30 is Lightning Glare. I'm pretty sure this level's dead, because I haven't seen any, like, significant progress on it, and, like, none of Krizz's stuff gets rated for some reason. But other than that, it's pretty much just like a 9 circles level. It looks kind of okay, whatever. It's pretty much tied with the next project anyways. And the next demon I'm going to talk about is KOCMOC, which is basically just like glow level meets Slaughterhouse. Like, Aquamarine is to Soucoupe Circles is what like KOCMOC is to Slaughterhouse, which basically means taking all the ideas from the previous level, ripping them all off, and then making it a little bit worse. Except this one has its own sort of original idea of making it more space themed and like glow than like the original. The original was pretty much like hell theme. By original, I mean Slaughterhouse. The only reason it's above the previously mentioned projects is that it has a tiny bit of originality. Next up is Amaterasu. Now, similar to Heliopolis, it's very, very weird to place this level because it's so early on in the creating process. As it stands right now, it's pretty much just a ridiculously buffed version of Yangire, and a lot of people really don't like this level, sort of including myself, because it's pretty much just more spikes equals new level mentality. Now, if this was to just get decorated and it like looked, okay, and that they got verified like in its current state, well, first off, it'd probably be top 1, but if it was like nerfed a little bit, which it probably will be, I wouldn't really consider it that unique. I mean, I guess we'd finally get a remake of Yangire, so we have the complete RGB remakes, but it's not unique by itself. I would kind of recommend they do an extension or replace some of the more annoying parts to make the level have some more like originality to it, and then also have KOCMOC make like half the level, because that will get everyone to immediately like it. Oh yeah, and then also make a Michigan tribute, since, this is part of the level too. Next up is Misanthrope. Now, I really, really want to like this level. It's basically like a 5-minute, like, basically like borderline humanly impossible level that has all these giant names attached to it. including like Riot and I think like Cyclic or something. The problem is that the decoration has like no consistency or like coherency, because I don't know why, but I do think that there should be some sort of theme that ties it all together so it doesn't fade into obscurity, because I think this level has a lot of potential. Next up is Orochi. Now I have this one really big problem with this level, and that one problem is probably pretty easy to guess, and maybe it's because the first 60% literally looks like a 2.0 level. To my knowledge, this isn't being redecorated yet, but honestly, you could give a 5-year-old, just like an iPad with Geometry Dash on it, teach them how to use the entire level editor, and they will literally remake the whole thing and make it look absolutely amazing before Nobbable even gets consistent in the first 10% of the level. Other than that, the level's pretty good. The only problem I have with it is just like the 2.0 stuff, so it'd be fine. Also, the song's kind of funny to me for some reason. Like a red hell-themed level. Yeah, okay. I think a lot of people are just waiting for this to get verified by Swyborg so that he can move on to Eternal Night, but I don't, yeah, it doesn't seem like a very fun level to play based off how motivated Swyborg is to play it. I mean, it's pretty much just another remake that's a hell level, and it was not like a Thanatos is necessarily the most unique level ever anyways, but whatever, it's okay, it's like basically in the middle of the list. Next up is Taron. Again, earlier in the creating process, but I do like the atmosphere this level has, and that's the reason why it's above Anemesis. Next up is Death Corridor. Now, this level is absolutely carried by history. Now, usually I don't let history of levels like Sakupan Circles completely judge, like just overrule all judgment of the decoration and the gameplay. But in this case, I do a little bit just because of how much history there is behind this level. I mean, sure, I'm kind of biased, but like, this is my list. I can do whatever I want. It's also interesting because this is one of the first impossible levels, or one of the big levels I still recognize that I saw when I first joined the community, like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know how long it's been. And it's interesting to see that this is like still a level that's being worked on in the background, and Kugelblitz is verifying this, so pretty crazy. Next up is Azure Flare. The absolute dedication that AedenGD has been making towards this level is pretty cool, so I admire that. Yeah, I think it's generally like the decoration itself isn't the best, but the amount of the dedication from the verifier and just like how the sheer difficulty of it makes up for it, in my opinion. At number 20, we have Silent Circles, Zynvire's version. So I really, really want to like this level more than I do. The big problem I have with it is that there is zero consistency between parts. The transitions aren't great either, but that's a little bit gameplay oriented, so I'm not going to go too far into that. It's just you have like this one really cool design and another pretty cool design, and they're like right next to each other, and you have like, it's just kind of disorienting, and it's like a little weird that all the different parts of the level are just so, they seem like they're just from completely different levels in completely different eras of the game. Next up is Mayhem, which is a recently announced upcoming top 5-ish glow level, or not glow level, but like level by a Cherry Team. Set to be verified by Cursed, I think this level has a lot of good potential. I actually do kind of like this level. I like some of the theming, and yeah, it's like a yellowish orangish level, which is not as common. At least it's not like, you know, like monochrome or red. Next up at 19, I have Anathema. Now, this is also a pretty interesting level that has some history behind it, but I think there are parts of it that could be a little better, and I do think it's come a long way since like Renovant and Allegiance, so if it stays in its current state, I'd be more than happy, but it's still, there could be a little bit of improvement, because Rainbow levels are just so kind of interesting, but like kind of weird, so it's fine in its current state. I actually really like it, but I think there's just some improvement behind like the theming in a little bit. Next up is Eryx, which is like Zanny's top 1-ish thing. Maybe it's not top 1 anymore, I don't know. A lot of stuff is like upcoming top 1, and like 3 days later they're like, never mind, it's just gonna be top 5 because I got too much backlash. I don't know, weird song, cool deco, let's move on. Okay, now we're getting into the levels that I really like. First up is Galaxy Collapse at number 17 by Trusta and More. Now, I actually really like this level. I like how, I like some of the gameplay gimmicks, and I mean, sure, it's like a glow level, but whatever, shut up, it's good, okay? And also, it's a Trusta level, so I like it, of course. The only problem is some parts are a little inconsistent with others, but yeah, whatever at this point. Next up in 16 and 15, we have Deimos and Deimos by Skele and Hybrid. So at number 16, we have Deimos by Skele, which is I actually do kind of like this level, and I like how it was still being worked on in the background, even after a lot of like community drama. So, and I think now it's going to be verified by Swyborg, which is good. That guy is still working on Anemesis, but whatever. The problem I have with this is that it's kind of inconsistent in theming. Like, if you took some of the parts just randomly, like, and you just showed them to me and I didn't know what it was supposed to be inspired by, I wouldn't be I wouldn't actually guess that it was inspired by Phobos. But then again, Phobos doesn't have consistent theming at all, so I don't know, maybe this is intentional, whatever. Either way, even though it's not that consistent, at least each part is sort of consistent with itself. So it's more than what I can say for Silent Circles. So I'll just go with, yeah, I'll just put it here. And then the one above it is the Hybrids Deimos. I like this one just a little bit more because it has more of the 1.9-ish feel to it, even though the decoration in some parts is a little subpar, but it's fine, in my opinion. Next up is Spectre. This is a huge step up from Zodiac in terms of decoration quality. I really do like this level. There are some parts that are really glow-oriented, but other than that, I do really like this level. Next up, we have Acheron. Now, it's a Riot level, so if I put it anywhere below the top 15, I will get cancelled. But in all seriousness, I do actually like 1.9 style levels, and I think this one does it pretty well as well. Like, probably, it's like basically a Tartarus sequel at this point. And also, the song's pretty good, so yeah. At number 12, we have Abyss of Darkness. Now, I actually do kind of like this level more than at this point I should, because the song's been growing on me. Even though it's a dubstep song, yeah, I don't know why, whatever. And also because the decoration itself has been sort of growing on me, because, again, this has just been a level that I find really interesting, because I like the idea of having, like, challenge gameplay for more than, the length of a challenge as a top 1. This is by far the hardest level, maybe other than Silent. I think Silent Clubstep's been considered easier by top players, but it's like basically the hardest level in this entire list, and it would definitely place top 1. I thought this level was dead, but then Trick started making progress on it, which is pretty cool, and he's making pretty quick progress, so we might even see it verified before Silent Clubstep. Next up at number 11, just out of the top 10, is Avernus. Now, I do like this level a lot. I think the one problem I have with it is that it's pretty unclear that it's the same, it's like in the same series as the Golden, because of the complete color switch and theme switch. And while the gameplay does like similar in structuring and things, it doesn't feel like like a sequel, but I still enjoyed it a lot, and by itself it's an amazing project. Next up is Silent Clubstep. Now, I think the redeco is great. It's a great thing to actually redeco like old Impossible levels, competently, so that you don't have like an ugly 1.8 demon at the top of Pointer Crate. I think the deco's good, and it's got a lot of history to it, so at least, there's a historic level that we can have at top 1 that doesn't look like garbage. Next up is the Yangire. Now, I actually really like this level. I like the theming, and it shows that we can actually have a red level that's not just hell. I think the theming is done pretty well, and the decoration quality is just amazing, so yeah, that's cool. Next up is the Amethyst. Now, this is sort of rather unknown, but it's basically like the Golden sequel, except it's actually more of a sequel to the Golden than like Avernus. I don't think it's an official sequel, but I still like the level, and I like the theming of it, and I like the decoration is really good. At number 7, Aerial Gleam is my 7th favorite, because, I mean, come on, this deco is just really cool, and it's a very low object count for a level, or like for an extreme demon, so it's pretty cool. I like the way that the level progressively gets more and more intense as it goes on, and it you can still see like the original design in it as opposed to just a complete redeco. At number 6, Downbase Incarnate. This level is pretty much just like take annoying 1.9 circles extreme demon and turn it into amazing 2.1 mega collab. So obviously the decoration in this part, or in this entire level, is really good. I like this level. Get better soon, Wesps, because he was in a car accident. I like how this level expands a little bit on what were kind of attempts at theming from Downbase, and has basically just turned like a really annoying 1.9 demon into something that people can actually be proud of. And number 5, just in the top 5, is Eternal Night. The next 5 demons, I love them all, so yeah, it was pretty hard to like kind of sort the top 5, but Eternal Night is number 5. The gameplay looks very unique. I like the decoration a lot, and the art is just, great. And also, if I say anything bad about this level, I'll get canceled, so there's that too. But I do actually think that it's a really cool level. Next up is the Apocalyptic Trilogy. This is like the best Hell Demon I've ever seen. This is like the only Hell Demon that I can really enjoy completely and not be carried by like history, like Bloodbath and stuff. I mean, Bloodbath looks good for its time, but whatever. The quality of decoration and like all of the lava and just all of like the magma stuff really makes up for like the fact that it's supposed to be a high level, like one of the best looking upcoming demons. This feels like it would be fitting to be top 1 because Bloodbath's been top 1 like twice, in the form of Bloodlust. So maybe, just maybe, we'll see the last time that a Bloodbath remake and At the Speed of Light are used in a top 10 demon. Just kidding, we're always going to be using At the Speed of Light. At number 3, we have Limbo. Now this is probably one of like the most unique level just all out of all of the upcoming like top 1 demons. It's unclear whether this is top 1 or top 10 or like top 50 or whatever because of how hard it is to compare memorization gameplay to just like other gameplay in a lot of other list demons. But the entire concept of it is just so unique, and like the decoration is very well made. And of course there's that key part at the end. Number 2, just out of the top 1 spot for me, is Edge of Destiny. And the only reason this is higher than Limbo is because I just really like Blade of Justice. I really hate the fact that level was nerfed. It's been like 5 years and I'm still mad about it. But whatever, we don't talk about that. And it's also just because this is like some of the best deco I've ever seen. Like this entire top 10 has really good deco, but to call most of the parts on this level anything but a work of art is pretty much just a lie. Blade of Justice looked really good for a 2.0 level, but this takes it up to the next level. And at number 1, we have what I think is the best upcoming top main list level, and that is the Rock House, because it's not about decoration, it's not about history, and it's not about gameplay. It's about drive, it's about power. I hate myself. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please like and subscribe. If you have a big disagreement with me, just actually take it to the comments, because you might actually change my mind, because I don't feel that passionately about half these levels. I might do more of these again, but if this video flops then I won't, so yep.